I'm sure you. I want to get back too. I love doing the show today. I just love the vibe of it. So I'm excited about it too. I'm excited for us all to be together. It'll be fun. Texter or Twitcher Game Boy 305 says, "What about Big Spoon?" I don't know. Maybe we have to like FaceTime her at 8:00 just to get a goodbye because I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do with no Big Spoon. It's gonna be an interesting one to deal with. But anyway, we wanted to come in. I wanted to come in on Memorial Day because I knew where this was probably heading with the Heat. I knew that it was probably heading towards the season coming to an end. And well, I guess technically, what if it was a game 5? It would have been tonight, Robbie, or it would have been
tomorrow night. It would have been tomorrow night.
Would have been tomorrow night. Okay, so I told and I get harassed by my boss. He's like, "He coming in? He not coming in? He just checking in." So eventually, I had to give him an answer, just like, "All right, they're down 3-0. So if the season ends, I don't want to not be here because I don't want to be looked upon as soft." So I decided, I was like, all right, I'll come in and I'll do the show and I'll let you guys yell about the Heat and be mad about whatever you want to be mad about. Here's the things, like, the people who are, there's a couple of questions that I think are big, that are big going into this offseason as far as the current roster is concerned, because what we saw this summer, what we saw from this past series, we saw the Bucks shake Bam out of his shoes a little bit from a mentality standpoint of they dared him to basically go shoot at him. And I'm not so worried about this when it comes to Bam. I think that is something that has been seen with some of the best players in the league. I think that he shook Giannis out of his shoes last year with some defensive stuff. I think that we've seen that with LeBron against the Spurs, against Boris Diaw. We saw that with LeBron against JJ Barea, where they're trying to shoot. Yeah, you remember that? Boris Diaw. Was Budenholzer on the coaching staff for that? Wasn't he on the I think he was. So they basically went with that game plan. They backed off LeBron, they backed off Bam and said, "Come on, big fella." And I do think that we saw a better version of him this last game, but it wasn't, neither one of them had a superstar game where you could definitely see there. Look, as Drew Holiday said, we were the more talented team going into the series. That turned out to be very, very true. And when there is a talent deficiency, you need one of your stars to step up in a big, big way, much like we've seen in other series. Like you would probably say that against the Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic going and having superstar performances.
Actually, Budenholzer was not on that staff. On that 2014, the 2014 Spurs. The only notable names are Sean Marks, who's now the general manager of the Nets.
Where's Budenholzer from, though? Is he from the Spurs?
I thought he did come from the Spurs, but I think he might have given.
He did come from the Spurs. Let's see.
But I don't think he was. But according to Basketball Reference, he wasn't there in 2014. I know him and Borrego both came from the Spurs.
Borrego, who could forget? He was his first year with so he was with the Spurs as an assistant until 2013. 2013 was his first year. Yeah, so he was actually there before that Spurs series. But I'm sure he called Popovich shows because you know what probably happened. He's probably close to Popovich, right? Mm-hmm. And Popovich probably told him, "Well, you know why I didn't put him on Team USA? Couldn't hit a jumper to save his life. Give him the Diaw." So I think that, but look, he's 23 years old. I don't think that can be lost upon somebody. You guys know I'm a big fan of the guy. I have been since he's been on the team. I think that he's jumped leaps and bounds. I know that a lot more responsibility comes with the max contract, but I have faith that the guy's going to put in the work and he is going to get a lot better. I don't know, maybe that even involves adding the 3-point shot to his game. I have faith that he could do that. I really, really do. It's just, They know how much offense is run through him. And the thing that was weird about it, Robbie, is even at the game, the crowd, whenever he had the ball at the top of the key or on the wing where they were backing off him, everybody was yelling at him to shoot. But the other thing with that is Bam also does a lot with setting up the shooters. And that's another problem, is they just don't have enough playmakers who can go get their own shot. And so much with Jimmy and Bam has to do with getting other guys involved, getting other guys their own shot. They just don't have enough of it. It's Bam, Jimmy, Goran, and sometimes Kendrick Nunn. And Tyler here, I don't really think you could say you have the faith in him to do that because he's got to dribble a gazillion times to get anywhere on the floor where somebody's not going to swat his T-Rex arms away. So there's still some growth that has to happen there. And then I guess the question with Jimmy becomes, this whole extension thing. People are worried about how much money he's going to get. The only thing I'd say to that is one, like whenever the TV rights are probably up for the NBA, I'm sure that the salary cap is going to go up once again. And second of all, the team's been good with Jimmy Butler. I mean, like they played their regular season record with him this year. It was fantastic. I know that he had a really bad series, but we're just going to also forget what he did the series. We're going to just forget what he did just months ago in October. So I think that Jimmy wasn't playoff Jimmy. He wasn't stupidly locked in. He did not live up to just get to the playoffs and I'll take care of it. But
take over.
But you can see, but look at all these things that Jimmy's going to have to deal with this offseason. People looked at Giannis last year and had all these questions about him. It got the script got flipped on him. Roberto's on the phone line, 786-360-0790. Roberto, what's up, man?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, my blood pressure's up right now. I had a quick question. Well, it's a three-part. I need you to answer one out of the three if possible, Tobin. Which one surprised you the most?
You want me to answer one at a time or one out of three?
One out of three. The most one that stuck out to you the most about this following season with the Heat. Okay. It's either James Jones and Sean Marks knowing how to GM a team, Jimmy Buckets not making a three-point shot to save his life, or Indian Rasta not knowing how to find a loaf of Cuban bread at Publix.
Yeah, that was going on the Twitch stream. Indian Rasta had no idea what Cuban bread was, and everybody was giving
Twitch stream has started to call in. 786-360-0790. Now they can vocally roast each other. I would say that the biggest deal was probably the move of bringing in Chris Paul to the Suns. I mean, that's a bigger deal than Jimmy Butler not making a three. Like Jimmy Butler hasn't made a three since he's been on the Heat. I mean, other than a couple of weird playoff games, like he has not been a guy that you can rely on his outside shot. I don't know when you can expect that, but he is a very smart player, and he does have a great ability to get to the free throw line. That was another big thing. Like the real thing with Milwaukee this year that was so huge from them. Where the Heat, they built the wall around Giannis and they kind of freaked him out to even get offense initiated and allow him to get downhill and do that spin move and all that type of stuff. Milwaukee's maneuver this year was, we're going to put two trees at the rim. Good luck. Go try and get your free throws. Beat us with jump shots. Where they have two guys who they're better off when they can get to the free throw line and they can slow down the game and all that type of stuff. And that's where they're at their best. That's where they're at their best. And Milwaukee took that away. And that you give them total credit for. Did you go away there, Robbie? It looked like you had
Oh, yeah, I did. We had another caller on the line.
Is he still there or no?
Yeah, he's still there. JC in Wellington.
JC, what's up, man?
Tobin, what's up, bro?
How are you, man?
Hey, it's pretty obvious that we're too small, and we got to do something about that. And our guards are terrible at rebounding the ball. You see these other teams with, these athletic guards that, are doing good in, rebounding, and our guards are getting pushed around. We're too small on the wings. We got old wing players. Andre Iguodala, Trevor Ariza, these guys are, 6'6", 6'7" guys going up against, 6'9", 6'10" guys and just getting pushed around. And it was quite evident that, we need to add some size and some strength in the backcourt and on the wings. What do you think we can do to help that out, Tobin?
All right, thanks for the call, JC. I appreciate it. I think that the thing I want the most is definitely them to go get somebody who can go score. Like, I mean, just so many times this year, Robbie, how much was it like just the Heat, just the offense dried up, and they don't have a guy who is just an automatic bucket, or just those nights where like somebody's going to carry the offense. Because Bam and Jimmy, like, they do have such a big defensive responsibility on this team as well. Like, they have so many things that they have to do for this team to be successful. And sometimes scoring ends up being like third on that list. And sometimes you need it to be first. And I don't know if those guys know when to go do that. And, even Jimmy after, see, this is the one thing that the one thing that I heard from Jimmy afterwards when the series was over, where he's talking about, I'm not a scorer. I don't want to hear that from the guy who is also telling me that I'm stupidly locked in and just get me there, because it's either one of two things. Like, you're either not going to be the go-to scorer or you're going to be the guy who's playoff Jimmy. And when you're asked about playoff Jimmy and you say that you're stupidly locked in, you can't then tell me afterwards in the series, well, I'm not a go-to scorer. I never have been. Because I know that's naturally what he's been saying, but maybe he bought into the whole thing a little bit too much and, went too far away from his game or wanted to be that. I don't know. But I think out of all of those things, size definitely bit us in the ass this series. But I do think that
even with Dedmon,
Dedmon wasn't fantastic in this series. I mean, he had that one game in game 2, but I mean, anybody who has a good game in game 2, I mean, like, somebody has to get the Heat to whatever the amount of points were. But I think that if it was my wish list, I think the first two things on that list are always going to be first for me. And I know that's probably going to drive Leroy nuts because I know Leroy's he's a big size guy, big. He's like Coach Quinville. Mm-hmm. But they need to go get somebody this offseason who is a dynamic scorer, because I don't think Kendrick Nunn's going to be back, because I think there's a couple things with Kendrick. It's not, I think I liked Kendrick Nunn and I thought he had a fantastic year. I think he wants to probably go somewhere where he doesn't feel like he's always the first fall guy. And that's what it felt like for him. You could say that's right or wrong on Spo, but it always felt like, where was the improvement going to come? Victor Oladipo comes here, we're benching Kendrick Nunn. We need to make a move to swing the series, we're benching Kendrick Nunn. And I'm pretty sure he wants to probably go somewhere where he is believed in a little bit more. So I would doubt that he's going to come back. Duncan is an interesting question because he is the best outside of Steph Curry of shooting the 3-ball. There's nobody better than him at shooting the rock. But how many playoff series are we going to watch where he gets taken out and doesn't do anything? Like, he had a great game 1 and then we didn't hear from him the rest of the time. So I think those are going to be two interesting questions. I don't find the extension question with Jimmy to be that interesting. I feel like they should extend him. I feel like Jimmy Butler should be extended. I feel like guys want to go. Well, I got reasons for that, right? One, wherever he goes, the team gets better. And whenever he leaves, they get worse. And that was proof positive this year, even in the regular season record. You need somebody to be the face of the team. All right. Bam's still learning that. All right. 2, I think that he does have a good relationship with a lot of players in this league. And I do think that people want to play with him. So I think if you go about this and you dilly-dally and you're going to always play the move of, what's the big whale move? All these whales that we've been searching for and all the guys that we've been harpooning for, Jimmy the Butler's the guy who said he wanted to be here. He's the guy who's going to show you, who's going to recruit those guys who are next level. Bam, I think, is going to do that for that next era when everybody's able to be out of these rookie contracts. I think he's going to be able to do that type of stuff. But for right now, the face of the team is Jimmy Butler. And I don't think that you screw around with that and go cheapskis on him. Because, look, we've even seen in this league, like, let's say it just turns really bad with Jimmy Butler and it became awful. Like, Russell Westbrook's contract got dealt. John Wall's contract got dealt. Chris Paul got dealt. Like, it's not impossible for the move to be
but the only way those guys get dealt is if they take on another bad contract. Like, that's not like I think wasn't Westbrook traded for John Wall?
Not Oklahoma City, did it? I mean, Oklahoma City didn't take on anybody that bad.
I guess what was Paul's? I guess because they took on Paul, and then they just got a bunch of draft picks for him, and they traded. Oklahoma City traded Westbrook to take back Paul.
But who do they trade to get? But who do they trade Phoenix? Do you remember who was in the deal there? I don't remember who they took back. I mean, I know who's the big contracts on their team, like Al Horford.
Let's see. I'll look it up. But by the way, details on this Jimmy Butler extension, like, you get to give him $50 million at his age 36 season. I'm not saying I wouldn't do the extension, but that does give you a little pause, giving a guy $50 million when he's 36. Yeah, well,
dude, stars make a lot of money. Welcome to the NBA. I know. There's not going to be. What's the number that's going to make you not go? Ooh, like, you guys are going to do that with Bam when Bam makes $28 million. Unless the players, LeBron James or Kevin Durant or you're always going to go. Oh, what? Like, there's always the chance that a guy gets hurt and it nukes your season. Like, this is the NBA, hammer in the anvil.
Yeah, it was Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, and then a couple other scrubs in a first-round pick
for the Suns deal.
Yeah,
that's nothing, dude. Because I don't think either one of those guys has long-term deals that they're locked into. So all I'm saying is, yeah, I think you have to extend it, Jimmy Butler. I do. I don't think that's a question. I don't think that you should screw around with that, to be honest with you. But I get it. But there are people who are always queasy about that type of stuff. But that dude is dude.
I know.
NBA players make a lot of money.
I know, but like we're talking about like they didn't want to pay Dwayne Wade like
so
$22 million.
It's not the same time. I know, but that was a big mistake, was it not?
It was a terrible mistake.
All right, so like you're gonna make the mistake. Okay, so like what's the number you're comfortable with? 40 million? Are you comfortable with that?
Well, I think it starts off at like 45 and it goes up a little bit by a year.
It's all a ton of money.
Yeah, I think if his last year of his contract that he was making 40 million instead of 50 million, I'd feel better. Yes.
Can I get Jimmy buckets after the game? This was Jimmy Butler after Game 4. He got the ass swept in the first round by the Milwaukee Bucks. Very embarrassing. Always embarrassing to get swept. Especially embarrassing to get swept by a margin of victory of 21 points. That's not great. And so let's hear from Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was asked after the game about the summer and how much he will be communicating with the Heat brass about the plans that they have. Here's what he had to say.
I don't know. I've got to be active, me, myself, Bam, hell, probably Tyler, some other guys as well. They're going to ask. I think it's going to be our job to be honest. But at the end of the day, that's not our job either. It's whoever we get the opportunity to play with, we got to go out there and compete.
That sounds like him and Bam are going to be sitting in a meeting with Riles in a PowerPoint, and they're going to bring up Duncan Robinson, and they're going to have Jimmy Butler stand up like the emperor and give a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and it'll be his choice: extend or to not extend, Jimmy. And he looks at Bam, and Bam goes, gives him the side eye, and Jimmy just goes down. Oh, we're gone. Can't pay him. And Riley's like, you sure? And he just goes down again. And then they'll put up a photo of Kendrick Nunn. And Bam and Kendrick will be like, and Bam and Jimmy will be like, thumbs down. And then they'll bring up a picture of Tyler. And Bam's going to look just to Jimmy. And he goes, offer on the table for Zach LaVine. You want to do it?
Oh, God.
And they just look to each other and just go, send him out.
Zach LaVine, Mr. Inflation.
He's a bucket, though, Robbie. I mean, they could use somebody who's a bucket.
Yeah,
that dude scores from anywhere. Was Zach LaVine? I mean, Zach LaVine, would he be a good addition for you? Like, would that make your offseason satisfied or not good enough?
Not good enough. No, they're not going to go anywhere. Zach LaVine just takes a lot of shots. He's the main guy on the Bulls.
He's very good at making those shots, though.
I know. He hit 13 threes in a game one time. But he's just a product of inflation. But you're not asking Zach LaVine to be, you're asking him to get buckets every now and then, but you're not asking him to take over games. You still have Jimmy Butler. You still have Bam. So Zach LaVine could work on this Heat team as long as he's not the main guy.
Do you think Sir John says thumbs up for Gogi? He does love Goran Dragic. I mean, that's cafe con leche. They love each other. But Riley he brings up a picture of Goran Dragic, and then he's like, he gives him the money sign, and Jimmy goes, and then they bring up Lowry, and Jimmy goes, oh, he's super excited for Lowry, and so all of a sudden he stabbed his little Slovenian friend in the back to bring in Kyle Lowry.
That would be cold.
That's cold.
Cold.
And he goes, hey, buddy, what happened to my $20 million? He goes, Riles decided to go with Lowry, man. I don't know what to tell you. That's not what I said in the meeting. Oh, man. Crazy. I gotta have my Gogi back. Imagine Goran Dragic on the Knicks. God, that's sad. Goran Dragic on the Knicks.
No,
look at this guy. His name's Dragic. I can't even say it. I'll hang up and listen.
Speaking of which, we do have another caller on the line.
Oh, who do we got?
We have Platinum Swords at Twitcher. He's
786-360-079 is how you guys can get to us. Platinum Swords, what's going on, man?
What's going on, guys?
Not much, buddy. How are you?
Did it.
Everything's good. I was just dared by Twitch to get on, so I'm on now. Everybody hears my voice. J Fig, I hope you get better. Everybody else stay good. That's about it. I don't got nothing else to say.
You know nothing about the Heat? You know Heat takes? You want to get
good.
out there?
I love this call. I love a Platinum Sword just calling it.
Right.
No takes, just shouting out.
I love it.
I love that the Twitchers are all they're all putting a voice to the all putting a voice to the handles. So if the Twitchers want to call in, 786-360-0790 is how you do it. Love it. I love it.
Pandora's box.
Thanks for calling in.
Appreciate it.
For checking in.
Yeah, partying on this. Let's see. We need to stretch 4. Jason Collins would work and make me happy.
Are you talking about John Collins?
John Collins is what the guy.
Oh, that's Schmeeth's guy. Like Schmeeth can't stop.
He loves John Collins. John Collins, hometown guy.
Yeah, Palm Beach Gardens.
You know, he's that's like the untapped potential move. Like they're not going to extend him. Who's the other? Oh, you know who else is who's going to be? They're going to be rats off a ship on Colin Sexton.
Ooh, already
rats off a ship. Sorry.
Whoa, God.
No, apparently Cleveland's rats off a ship on Colin Sexton. So there's that too. Like, could they take a rehab project, you know, maybe Alonzo Ball.
Wow.
Never lost.
Alonzo Ball.
So
jump shot.
Could be something like that. I mean, honestly, like, listen, the Holy Grail would be, right? The Holy Grail has to be Bradley Beal has hated playing with Russell Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
They get swept tonight, and finally we can just get down to brass tacks and make this Bradley Beal trade happen. And he definitely wants to go to Miami, and they've done right. Like they did a wink, wink with him and says they'll send him where he wants to go. That's what you need. You need somebody of Bradley Beal's ilk, be embarrassed. He wants to go link up. He wants to be in Miami. That's the ideal guy. But who knows?
I mean, don't rule out Kawhi. I know they came back and even up the series, but
yeah, look, but I feel like if Kawhi is going to leave, it had to be super embarrassing. Now, look, it can still happen. They can still lose the series. It just looks like Luka is not himself.
I mean, Kawhi is the ultimate flight risk. It seems like the last 3 places he's been, he's always been a threat to leave. Like he wanted out of San Antonio. He was in Toronto for 1 year, but everybody kind of knew that he was just there for 1 year.
Yeah, Toronto. I would have called like he knew he was going to leave. Everybody knew he was going to leave Toronto. Like that was a one hitter quitter. Like he was there and he was going to leave.
And then now, like 2 years into being with the Clippers, there's already rumblings about what like Kawhi's going to ditch playoff P. Like
Yeah.
It's kind of like a mini LeBron. LeBron was the last true flight risk, and now Kawhi's kind of taking the ilk of that. But obviously, we would take Kawhi on the Heat.
Obviously.
But that like you can't rule out Kawhi like leaving the Clippers because that's just
Miami
what he does.
Clamps, Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Clamps. Oh.
We need to put those clamps on Middleton.
No, he'd be so clamped up. He wouldn't know what to do with himself.
We have to climb him out. We have to have him guard Bryn Forbes.
You guys can text the show at 786-360-0790. Texts on the ticket are driven by Kendall Toyota and West Kendall Toyota. Texter writes in, Jimmy Butler, not a number 1. He's a good number 2. We need a number 1 or we'll never catch teams in front of us in the East. Yeah, I think when we talk about number 1, I think we need a guy who's just definitely the number 1 scorer on the team, like the guy that they could just rely on. They didn't have that this year.
I mean, Jimmy Butler kept like his one knock is he drives to the basket and then he seems like he's about to get a layup and then he passes.
Right. Well, and I think too, like last year, it was kind of like, and again, this kind of goes back to what the big difference was on this team, and I think that last year the go-to scorer on the team in a lot of ways was Goran. And they didn't have that in this series. It's a short-lived postseason, so it's a very small slice, ass-kicking slice that we have to take from. But we got like one good Goran game where he had a week off, and I just don't know if I don't know if he had the powers to summon what he was on the reg in this postseason. He was fine in the final game. But the one that was really disappointing was having 2 days off, and then game 3, they put him in the starting lineup, and he was just terrible. He was terrible. And so they really just they need such an upgrade there. And I do think it would make a big difference on this team. I agree with the people who say, hey, listen, you need to add a little size for sure. They ended up too small. On the wings, they ended up too old. I agree with all of that. But I think for me, constantly the problem this year was this team doesn't have a guy that they can go and look to and say, hey, can you get us 30 tonight? It ain't going in. and they need that, and especially in the playoffs. Miami Heat season is over. That is why I'm in today. I wanted to be here for I wanted to be here for the end for you guys because, I didn't want to be looked upon as a coward, not being able to take it if we get embarrassed, which we were. We were embarrassed. That's okay. I believe in this franchise. I believe we will be back. But it was no bueno this series. We got our teeth kicked in. So.
I think you had the Memorial Day out clause to not show up today. I think you could have, and then you could have faced the music tomorrow.
I could have faced the music tomorrow, but you want to know something? Tomorrow's just another day that people won't care about it anymore, Robbie. It's still fresh in our mind. I think we all were in a drunken stupor on Sunday. All right, so I decided that today is going to be the day that I show up. Now I will bet your ass I'm using that comp day, Galen. All right, normally you skate on that. Comp day's coming. Comp day is you bet your ass comp day is coming. All right. Now it's not coming this week because I got Floyd Mayweather fight week. Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul, the biggest sporting event in Miami. I missed them so much already.
So I didn't even kill for some Panthers.
Even a season that sucked, I missed them. By the way, I was trying to tune into our boys in WEEI because I wanted to see what they were saying about the Kyrie thing, but they didn't have the guts to show up today either. They're taking Memorial Day off, so they got some fill-in Sully and O'Keefe's. Now maybe they're terrible too, but I haven't dove into their show enough because I usually like tuning into WEEI and see what they're saying. I imagine it goes something like, "Yeah, he threw a water bottle, but what about Kyrie stepping on the logo?" Disrespect.
You don't do that.
Disrespect. It's like he's looking in a mirror. I got a feeling like that's how it's going. Now I haven't listened to the show. I just imagine that's how it's going. Crazy.
Date South says, I can't wait for Canes football. Can't wait for that ass whooping by Alabama.
Trevor goes, he threw a Dasani bottle. What's the big deal? It's barely water.
It's expensive bottle toss.
I mean, it is. Sir John, did you talk about the Inter Miami fines? I have not. I'm so ignorant on this story, Robbie. I don't even know what they were sued for or fined for. We'll get to that next segment. It is 15 minutes. I want to respect it. But you fill me in on that story coming up later on. I will get into that.
Yeah, by the way, I just got the word from Galen that probably Wednesday will be our last day of, quote unquote, 15 minutes of heat.
He's listening?
Well, I asked him, like, hey, when does 15 minutes of heat end? And he goes, Wednesday, probably.
Probably Wednesday. Yeah. Well, today they have voluntary media at like 1 o'clock, I think is around when it's supposed to start. So I guess whoever wants to hop on the Zoom.
When is the big presser State of Pat Riley press conference?
That's a good question, Robbie. If I had to guess, I would say
end of the
probably Wednesday. If I had to guess, I don't know for sure, but if I had to guess, Riley probably wants to get that done and then go to Malibu. So I would guess it's gonna be soon. I would venture to guess it's this week. So I don't know.
So many.
I don't know. Let's see. Shmee that Schmolnick says Tobin should be fined for ruining players after he interviews them. First Precious, then Bam. Whatever. You want me to wear the jinx? Fine. I'll do whatever makes you guys happier. If you guys feel like blaming me or calling me a jinx makes you happier, fine. Yeah, Zaslow was yelling at me. He was calling me bad luck. Well, maybe you're bad luck. Maybe, you know what? Maybe he's lost his luck. You ever think about that? Maybe he's lost his fastball. He doesn't show up. Where's he today? Is he doing Memorial Day show?
Oh, I know Zach Duarte is doing this show today. I don't know if Zaslow's doing.
Oh yeah, well, hey, listen. Good luck to 4 hours of telling you guys not to extend Jimmy Butler. Congratulations.
Oh my God.
He's gonna be sitting here wanting to tank for some G leaguer. He's seen enough of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler disappointed him for 4 games, and so he's erased everything that he's done over the last 2 years. It's okay. Don't extend him. No, that's all right. Do the Dwayne Wade thing again. Do it again.
Dade South says nothing beats the Zaslow Dustin Keller jinx.
No, the Zaslow jinx is real, dude. The Zaslow jinx was like, it was a powerful force. I don't know if it's as powerful as it used to be, but like, we're talking about Dustin Keller. He was like, You look great about this season. There's no injuries in the training camp. Very lucky. Very lucky.
Oh,
Dustin Keller never played football again.
Oh God.
Never played football again. And then, of course, you have the infamous Tom Brady. Can't fix old. 4 Super Bowls later.
Oh God.
You know, he's got a bunch of them.
I mean, you have your Bobrovsky one too.
I do. But in fairness, Bobrovsky was never good.
That's true.
I mean, you know, so I don't know if I can be blamed for that. He was never good while he was on the pen. Now, I did interview him before the season started, so maybe I just sent him down a barrel of suck. I don't know. But I only talked to him twice this year, once before the season and once before the playoffs. And by the way, I tried talking to other Panthers. Maybe they didn't want me to talk to them because they were worried about ruining other. They figured with Bob, damage is done, my friend.
By the way, like David Allen says that Zach is me on steroids. But by the way, this is why I don't heap praise. Like everyone calls me gloom and doom, Mr. Negative all the time. This is why I don't want to throw the jinx out there. Got to keep it reserved.
It's not a jinx, though. It's not a jinx. It doesn't exist.
It exists. I don't believe in coincidences.
So you won't praise anybody because you think it's a pure jinx. But wouldn't that reverse jinx on your like if you don't think the gods know what you're up to?
Of course the gods know what I'm up to. That's all my Tua bashing is sincere. I think he sucks. And so that's not an attempt at a reverse jinx that Tua is all of a sudden good. That is sincere. You have to have sincerity behind it, or else the gods don't, I know what this guy's doing, and they won't buy it and it won't work. Waddle was a reach. That's sincere.
Texter writes in, more like 240 minutes of Heat. Literally talked about the Heat all show. Hey, listen, I tried talking about that, and then people like immediately, the first thing is, why are you being soft and not talking about the Heat? Soft. You think I could just be like Skolnick and do a 20-minute podcast? I'm here for 4 hours, baby. All right? You guys can just do your little post-game show, you little podcasters. You got to be here from 6 to 10. And take the bashings as it goes, live. You don't get to just be in your little podcast bubble. Don't worry. Tomorrow's going to be nothing but Marlins rotation talk.
Oh, yeah. Alcantara had a start pushback.
Sports is back. Sports is back.
When does Sixto come back?
Biggest trade deadline pickup we can have, right, Robbie?
Yeah, that's it.
Sixto. Sixto's coming. So the Heat players will talk later today. I would guess Riley talks Wednesday or Thursday. If I had then had to guess. Now, Riley is famous for a couple of things on these press conferences. He's famous for, you know, giving his big picture whole philosophy thing. He's going to have some cool saying that he comes out with that I'm going to parrot left and right. You know, whether it's no obstacles, there are some but tons of none, or the orca, the whale. You know, there's going to be all that.
There's no obstacles. Well, there are tons of them, but there are none.
Then there's going to be questions of who's he going to – we got to look for signs. Who is he calling out, Robbie? There's always a guy who gets a call out.
Goran, I remember one.
Always the guy. Yep, Goran got one. You know, Goran, no excuses. You know, Goran, we gave him the contract. First it was national team, then it was no national team. No more excuses from Goran. Did it with Dwayne Wade. Did it to Dwayne Wade, saying Dwayne has to know what kind of player he wants to be. You know, does he want to be a player who's going to be this effective for years to come or not?
Compensation to a player is about recognition and respect.
Yeah, that was the thing. Schmeathan says Tyler here is 1,000% getting called out. Possibly. He goes, you want to be a guy who's going to be with on Instagram? You want to be a TikToker or want to be a basketball player? That's probably going to be the thing that we hear. Do you think Riley calls it TikTok or does he call it tickety-tock? Or tick clock? Riley probably calls it something else, if I had to guess, if I'm honest. Does Tyler Hero have a TikTok account? Feels like he would.
Yeah. I'm not I don't know. I'm not hip on the TikTok or what's going on TikTok, but I feel like Tyler Hero would have a TikTok account.
Duncan Robinson getting called out. Is he getting called out? I don't know. You know, they're going into a negotiation. You know, maybe he's trying to be real. Butters up Duncan. He goes, listen, it's a dangerous world out there. You want to go and make $20 million somewhere and be the man, or maybe you just want to make $4 million, Duncan, and, you know, be in your nice little role. Maybe they guilt Duncan into not taking $20 million. Duncan's like, shucks, you're right. You know, what do I need? Duncan, what do you even want $20 million for? What are you?
Leroy would be so mad if he heard that.
Oh, I know. Duncan, what do you even want 20 million for, dude? You need, what do you get? You got a podcast? You got an apartment? You got it all. He goes, you are right. I do have it all.
Yeah, people are going to be coming for you. They're going to be asking you for money all the time. It's annoying. It's a pain in the ass. You don't want that.
Yeah, I'm rich. Trust me. It's not that great. It's not that great. He's like, you need about, he goes, well, what do you mean, Riley? He goes, you need about like $5 million to be happy. Anything more than that, it's just a headache. People ask you to invest. What do you want to do? You want to invest? Invest.
Spend it on Bitcoin.
Oh, what if Riley tries to pay guys in Bitcoin?
Oh, I feel like we have another Inter Miami scandal coming up.
Hey, all right. Listen, you could door number 1, max contract. Door number 2, whale coin. Oh, they got that FTX. Isn't it FTX Arena starting on Friday?
Yeah.
I think it's officially changed.
Yeah, they said it was funny that they said when they're down 3-0 that if the Heat moved on to the next round, the next round was going to be FTX Arena.
All right. So we just start. This is what we're going to do. We're just going to pay all of the, like Andy Ellisberg, he's probably learning cryptocurrency as we speak and how to maneuver the salary cap with cryptocurrency. And so once he learns how to pay Duncan in Dogecoin, we're good. We don't have to pay him $20 million because we paid him in Doge.